Welcome to this edition of the Business Spotlight. This evening, we're chatting with one of Guyana's youngest and most promising CEOs that is poised to make a really big impact in our maritime industry. I'm speaking about no other than Mr. Pritipaul Singh Jr., better known as Sachin. Sachin, welcome to the Business Spotlight.
Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, welcome. So let's tell our viewers out there, what do you do? What do you actually do, and for how long have you been doing this?
So what I actually do is ship repairs. A lot of people will want to know, what do we repair about on the ship? So technically speaking, we own an asset that literally sinks in the water, and we lift vessels out of the water with that asset. So that is what we refer to as a dry dock, and the dry docking of the vessel is referred to as the ship repairs. So we own a ship repair company, and we're operating for the past 2 years.
Very good, very good. And what impact, what impact does your company make on our country?
So what is actually unique in my situation is that I'm the only one operating at the capacity that we have. So we have a 2,000-ton dry dock, and being the only one in the sector, we more or less have the niche on the market. And it's definitely a niche business too, because not every day you can go to someone's property or business to say they are a ship builder or a ship repairer. So in our situation, we're quite fortunate to be the only ones operating it at a commercial level. And it definitely has major impact, because a lot of people that operate their vessels in Guyana do not need to go beyond Guyana shores for ship repairs or the maintenance of their vessels. So that's what we bring to the table. Definitely for sure in the near future, with the development of Guyana and the oil finds and gas finds, the increasing amount of vessels operating in Guyana, there will be the need for more docks. So that's something that we're also looking at currently.
Very good, very good. And as a business owner, what has been your biggest lesson over the past 2 years of operating this particular business?
Boy, I would actually look at it as just being in the business life itself. The first thing is always have a good mentor. And fortunately enough, I was introduced to my business coach, and I'm really happy that I engaged that part of my business life. And also what taught me was the determination, starting from your business from scratch and really propelling it into a different realm, because there are stages of growing your business. We all know it as starting by yourself, and then how do you grow your business into becoming a more recognizable company and operating from a corporate level.
Okay. Thank you. I think it's a lesson that many persons have to hear in order to ring a bell, that you can only get so far by yourself. But
that's correct.
There's a long path ahead of you. So we'd also like to know, what are your aspirations for the company over the next 5 years? What can we expect from Guyana Porting?
So as I have been working for the past 2 years, and something that resides with me as an individual is that I never like to be in one place at the same time. Well, in one place all the time. I don't like to know that, hey, I built my company and then it sits there for the next 10 years. I like to see change. I like to see development. I like to see how can we break that next threshold. So we're in the process of procuring our own dredger, which will pave the way for our development in purchasing and actually building our own another dock, actually, which will be 2.5 times the size of the existing dock that we have, and will be equipped enough to handle any vessel that comes in and out of Guyana that service the oil and gas, and will also be there for future development in the maritime sector. So that's what you'll be seeing from from Guyana Port Inc. And with that, we'll be adding to our revenue scale, which will more or less be an increase of about 150%.
Very nice, very nice. And I'm sure that all of this is not done by Sachin himself. I know that Sachin has a very growing and competent team. But the question is really, what has been your biggest learning, your biggest lesson being an employer of other people?
Oh, the amount of time and effort that you need to invest in your people. That's definitely something. I've been in business since I was a child, growing up from summer school. Just seeing my dad work and getting involved in his business, and then for 10 years, and then coming off onto my own, and then also engaging with a business coach definitely helps, and understanding the way business operates in 21st century, 2022, 2023, and the level of input that needs to go into your employees. Because one thing that I learned, just having a business coach, and I know I keep reciting the form of business coach all the time, but it's truly important, because you can't expect something from your employees without equipping them with the right tools and the right training. And you can't say, Joan operate at 100% or 80%, and then you expect them to think out of the box without giving them the right tools. So definitely training your people, investing in them, giving them the right tools is definitely the way to go in equipping them to getting the work done for the employer.
Very good, very, very important lesson as well. And I think the harder one is, don't expect them to do anything that you're not willing to do yourself.
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's one that I see pretty often. And I can attest to the fact that you are willing to do what is needed to move people and your organization to the next level. So really, you have my respect for that. You did touch on growing up. When you were growing up, was this what you really wanted to do?
No, I actually was. I grew up in seafood. It's something that I learned about. So over the years, my dad has he grew a fleet of about 100 vessels that fish off the shores of Guyana. And that's where I learned about vessels and operations and spares and how do you maintain a vessel. So the knowledge base was there, but it was not on the scale that I know now. And this just came as an opportunity. I saw an opportunity that I had right in front of me, and I said to myself, if I don't take the opportunity to be my own person, I can always be in the shadow of my dad. And that's something for me is I appreciate having his name as well, but also being a man for myself and developing my personal ambitions is something that always stuck with me, because I wanted to be ambitious. I wanted to grow. I wanted to keep learning. So that's how this happened.
And in Guyana, I know that this is the Business Spotlight is a global initiative. And I'm sure that around the globe, people know the name as well, but in Guyana, it's a household name. Some people might assume that you've had it really, really easy. What are some of the biggest issues that you've had to overcome?
So when I grew up, I finished writing my secondary school examinations, and that was the GCSE. And the biggest one of the most important memories I had growing up, and in that specific moment was, I finished writing my exams today. Let's say it was Friday, and my dad was like, go take a 2-week holiday or something. And I said to myself, that's absolutely a waste of time, looking back at it now, because at 16 years old, I was ready to take on the responsibilities and being ambitious, because I wanted to prove to my dad by the time I was 18, I could actually run his business, which I was actually doing at 18. I understood how money worked. I understood how the bank works, and it really helped me to propel. So it touches back actually to the point that you were making. I am willing to do anything and everything that the employee was doing. So if it was getting the respect of the smallest guy in the yard, I will work even in skirt with those people so they understand I can appreciate their pain, as much as they can appreciate mine.
And I know of some of the pain you've caused some people to learn faster. So that's a good one. You just touched on the number 18, right? At this age now, we're not going to disclose your age if you don't like to, but if you could just give your 18-year-old self some advice, what would that be?
Get a coach. If the first day I met my coach, and you know, after the first 2 hours, and you are my coach. So if I would have known at 18 that I could have a coach and someone actually coaching me, I probably would have been doing what I'm doing maybe by the time I was 22. So as early as possible, and as I mentioned, I have 2 children. I will be coaching them until they're 16 years old, and then they will be getting their own coaches by then.
What's your definition of coaching? Because some people are scared of coaching, but what's your definition of coaching?
Oof. Well, I think I have 2 definitions, to be honest. One is the one I think most people find it difficult to understand, but how do you pay someone to coach you and you have to do the work? It doesn't balance. So, and that's a real layman expression of our definition of the term coaching that I believe. And the one that I look at more is, you know, look at all these great coaches around the world for all sports, you know, tennis, lawn tennis, basketball coaches, you name it. Every professional team or every professional athlete has a coach. So why can't you mimic that in business? And I think coaching it's a crucial aspect that modern business people have to take into consideration if you want to function at a higher capacity. I mean, many people also are okay with functioning at a lower capacity, but I believe it takes a truly aggressive and thought-provoking individual to really want to test their boundaries, and coaching really pushes you to test your boundaries. I'm going to pay you to keep me on my toes, so I'm more than happy with doing that.
And I wouldn't be helping you if I jump into the pool and swim the laps for you, or if I start lifting the weights for you, right? I'm going to get nice at it.
Yeah. So that's why I think it's quite difficult for people to understand, why am I paying you and you're not doing the work? You know, it's for you to do the work and you to make the difference, because you have to drive that change.
Yeah, and you know, I have my fitness coach. From a fitness perspective, I love it. I just want to show up and, hey, coach, just kick my butt and make it go afternoon, right?
Exactly.
That's where it really kicks in for me. Many people who would be looking at this business spotlight will be seeing our Guyana flag somewhere in the branding of this particular video. What would you tell them about Guyana? What would be your promo for Guyana? And what do you see as the future for Guyana?
Well, so I was actually telling someone the other day, it's really a blessing. I guess for many people in Guyana at this point in time, especially those that are in business, to really see what a country looks like prior to oil, and then to see what country looks like post oil. It's truly redefining Guyana's landscape. You know, moving from a very poor country that really depended on its agriculture, now to having what some would refer to as liquid gold, and by that it changes the entire demographic. It pushes people to make those changes and break boundaries, and I definitely feel that Guyana is poised to be a country to look out for in the future, mainly because of now having the resource, which is the capital, to reinvest in the other aspects that it produces, such as agriculture, gold, mining, etc. And now putting that on a pedestal and launching it into the world. So, and I'm looking forward to expanding our capacity, and I have many other ideas that are going to push those boundaries and help move the name of Guyana globally.
And just like we'll be seen internationally, we'll also be seen by a lot of Guyanese and a lot of young guys, kids who are 12, 13, 15, 18, who will have the future of this country resting on their shoulders as well. As a young entrepreneur, as a young talented person, what would you advise those 12 to 18-year-olds to really focus on over the next 10 years?
I think some of the most important things that they should focus on is understand what you're passionate about, then focus your goals and your aspirations, what's your vision, then set those goals, achieve them. And then importantly, a lot of people really misuse time. When you really put time into perspective, you have 4,000 weeks to live. How do you plan to invest your time efficiently? A lot of people take time for granted, sorry. And by being able to manage your time, plan effectively, your vision and then your goals and then your time becomes quite allocated into how you achieve those dreams. And definitely it's something that every young individual should look at. And by being able to do that, your passions will be unleashed instantaneously.
Very good, very good. I think that is fantastic advice. The only thing that comes to my mind is if someone is that focused, even when they're young, even when they're at your age, even when they're at my age, although I'm still young, can people still have fun? Is there time for fun?
Yeah, if you allocate time for fun, but also some people believe that whatever dreams and aspirations that come your way is also fun. I can say to myself for the past 6 months to a year, as I've been developing my business, almost every 2 weeks you're getting a new deal. What is it? And that's what makes it so fun. And I mean, I don't have the world of capital to do it at the moment, but not having the capital and having the opportunities coming to you really pushes you to think. And that's what makes it so much fun. And if you don't love what you do, love making the deals, love seeing them come through, and just keep pushing on to break those boundaries and break those thresholds, then you won't find it as fun. But also, my dad always says, you must enjoy it when it's sour, and you will really enjoy it when it's sweet. So, you just got to keep doing what you're doing, being persistent, being consistent, and you'll definitely get to that point, what you're looking for.
Yeah, you can't enjoy the returns on investments you never made, right? So
yes,
the investments
exactly.
take some work.
Exactly.
This interview will also be featured in our newsletter, a global newsletter, and I'm sure a lot of people will be searching for Guyana and opportunities, especially in the shipping and maritime industry. Could you tell them why they should make contact with Guyana Port? What will Guyana Port be able to offer them, especially for vessel owners who will come across this particular either recording or in the newsletter? What can Guyana Port deliver to them?
Well, definitely we can deliver quality ship repair services. And that's something that we are keen on providing, because we control the market at the moment, and we also want to keep improving the way we provide the services to our client. A service-based company is more on providing value for clients rather than just charging a price. And that's something that I keep instilling into my team every day. How much more can we do for the client for the price that we charge? And adding that value, finding ways and means to help clients save so that they can see their ROI on their investments, and make sure that they have a return, so that once they're happy, they will return to our company for those repairs, is definitely something that that we are pushing towards. We are investing in our own project management software. We are investing in our people, and we want to be the premier ship repair provider in Guyana and also within the Caribbean in the near future.
It's a true privilege being the guide by your side, and I know that you are now also becoming a guide by many other people's side. So I think that's very important. That's one way in which we can pay this forward. I would like to thank you for participating in this spotlight interview so that persons can get a better understanding of what it takes to be an entrepreneur, what your viewpoint is, both from a young entrepreneur perspective, but also as one that is seeing the future of a country and a region before him. So I would really like to thank you, and I would like to offer you the closing words. Anything that you would like to share in closing?
I also like to thank you for having me to share my thoughts as well. But for all entrepreneurs, and I think aspiring entrepreneurs, you need to have the will to never give up. You know, giving up means that you're also giving up on your dreams and ultimately your ambition. And that's one of the things that really, pushes me. Why should I give up? Why settle for less? Keep going, keep going. And I say this in all sincerity, that when you get the tough times, you just got to keep just keep telling yourself, don't give up, just don't give up. There's something else down the road. Just keep going, just don't give up. And I think it definitely pays in the longer investment. It's not a short-term investment. It's definitely long-term. And if you never give up, regardless of the situation, always find a way to come out on top, then you're definitely going to be successful.
Definitely. Well, quitters never win and winners never quit. So very, very nicely wrapped up. I trust that this interview will inspire many to think about their own future, think about what they have to put in place in order to make that future brighter. I always, I don't use the words I wish, and I hope. I trust that you have a plan that will get you to your results, and that you execute diligently, and that you continue growing at a very rapid pace. The country is fortunate to have an entrepreneur like yourself, and I'm sure that we'll see the way in which you impact our country, our region, and I truly believe our world. Thank you very much, Sachin.
Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you for having me.